miracle that any human being would ever think to themselves or express out loud, how can I become more like Christ? Now that right there is a miracle in itself. I had a friend come to me recently who has been in the faith, been a follower of Jesus, a disciple, a student for many years. And yet he came to me expressing this thought. He said, Mark, I just feel stuck. I feel like my feet are in wet concrete and I'm not moving forward with God. Any advice? Wow. Maybe you have felt like that. I know that I have. I believe in my heart of hearts that Jesus is the answer to the significant questions that people all over the world are asking. That he is the answer, what is the illness of our world. And so because I believe that so strongly, and have been a follower of Jesus for so many decades as a result, it is my belief that what this world needs is for more of his followers to become more like him, to think like him, to act like him, therefore. And so this video series really is about becoming like Jesus. It is about spiritual formation. It is about discipleship. I have long been a believer in the fact that the church, at least the churches that I have been a part of, and certainly the one that I'm a part of now, does an excellent job at sharing the good news, at proclaiming Jesus as the answer, at setting him up as he is, the Son of the living God. But they struggle, those same churches do, with helping those new believers progress in the weeks and months to follow their initial decision to follow Jesus. And so they're asking these questions. How do I become more Christ-like? What do I need to do? What must I do on my part in order to begin to think like and to act like Jesus? I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. Themselves or express out loud, how can I become more like Christ? Now that right there is a miracle in itself. And so what this world needs is more people like you and me with a desire to become like him. And that's really, really what this channel is about, is helping you, helping each other become like Jesus. And so that's what's motivating me. I want to help you in that process of becoming unstuck. And by the grace of God, by his Spirit, that is what's going to happen. And so my ultimate goal is not just for a talking head here, for you to watch and maybe learn a few things, but my goal is for you not only to learn, but to implement and to begin to live what we're going to talk about. I'm going to be right there along with you, doing the same kinds of things, talking the same kind of language. And hopefully we're seeing the results. In fact, I can almost guarantee we will definitely see results if we are willing to do our part, because I know Jesus is always willing to do his part. And so perhaps what we need is a community of those of us who are intentional about their becoming like Christ. And I think that is probably what most of us want, to intentionally become like Jesus, to think like him, to act like him. That's what I hope this video series will help us do. So who is this series for? It's for that guy. It's for that gal who feels like they are stuck, that they just haven't had any movement. They can't see or feel or sense the activity of God in their life. It's for the new believer who 2 months ago or even a year ago said, Jesus, sign me up. I am yours. I'm going to follow after you. I'm going to give myself to you. So, yeah, that's who this is for. It's for those of us who want to move out, who want to move forward, who long to be like Jesus. It's for those of us who want the good life. And by that I mean a life filled with goodness, a life filled with love, and joy, and peace, and patience, and kindness, and faithfulness, and self-control, and courage, and boldness. All the things that we want in life. That's who this series is for. That's who Jesus is for. And so what we're talking about, and what we're going to talk about, and what we're going to discuss and implement, it's all about becoming like him. It's all about being formed spiritually in the image of God. I remember Paul, I believe it's to the church at Galatia, said, I am struggling with all my energy and all my mind to see Christ formed in you. That's what motivated him. And so that is the goal, is that we all become more like Christ. Spiritual formation is that spirit-driven process. That spirit-driven process of allowing the Spirit to transform us from the inside out. It's not about fixing ourselves. It's not about healing ourselves. It's about letting God work in us. So you might find yourself, for instance, easily angered. You just get pissed off at the slightest thing. It doesn't take somebody cutting you off while you're driving down the road. Boy, that really gets you going. No, sometimes it's just your wife or your husband or your son or daughter just saying something in a tone of voice, didn't agree with it, it sets you off. This is for you. Or maybe it's where you are in that you are just looking for something deeper, something more meaningful, a life with greater purpose. Yeah, this is for you. I hope you'll join us. I hope you'll jump feet first. I hope you'll decide that this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to allow the Lord to work in me and to change me and to help me become like Christ. So what we're talking about is cooperating with God so that we become more Christ-like. You see, most of us, I think, we just kind of let our spiritual development growth happen. We hope that it happens. And we do that by how we act or react to the things that happen to us in our lives. So, a neighbor gets mad at us, we pray about it, and we should, and we respond. Or a friend comes to us and says, listen, I'm going to leave my wife. And we pray about it, and we respond. And those are all good things. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, but perhaps there's something we can do on the front end. Perhaps there's something we can do to prevent the anger of my neighbor. Or if not prevent it, at least respond to it in a way Jesus would have me respond. That's what spiritual formation. It's being intentional so that God can form in me more Christ-likeness. So that when I am faced with the many things in life, loss of a job, bad news from a doctor, a neighbor who doesn't like me, a child who is not obedient, whatever it is, I can respond in a way that glorifies God and honors Jesus and is led by the Spirit. So I'm hopeful that this will be helpful to you. I'm hopeful that you will take the time, make the effort, give yourself over to God. Let him work in you, work in us as we work together. So I invite you on this journey of becoming like Christ, of cooperating with the creator of our universe, so that we might become lights in a world of darkness. I'm praying for you. In fact, you leave me your name and kind of where you are at in the responses below. I'll be praying for you. And I solicit you praying for me, because I don't come to you as an expert per se. I come to you as a fellow student, a fellow disciple, fellow struggler, trying to become like Jesus in all things. I'll see you next time.